My name is Delsin Rowe. I was bitten by a radioactive neon sign and thus gained the powers of neon, and also a cockney voice for reasons best unknown. This is my story. Bow wow 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 wow. It was a day like any other. I had just left my workplace, where I am a totally legal bar attendant, and I stumbled across the corpse of my Uncle Bennery and some other tosser. My Uncle Bennery was a great man. I remember only yesterday him saying to me, "With great power comes great responsibility. So here's a gun, I think some twat's gonna try and offer me tomorrow." I didn't know what he meant until today. After brooding on the rooftops for a while, I decided I needed to find the person who killed my uncle, and I needed to ask him why he did it through the medium of smashing his fucking face in. I had to walk down the old music emporium because I thought if I'm going to be bashing some twat's head in, I'm going to need some tunes. The screams give me the chills, you know what I'm saying? When suddenly I was bitten by a radioactive neon sign. Whoa, I thought, got some weird fucking feelings going through me right now, like that time I watched Titanic or took that tricky shit or whatever. I then stumbled into a back alley, not because like the neon had done anything weird to my legs, I was just a bit pissed. I then discovered that I had a superpower, a power that would change my life. I could sort of make these little circles in the sky. It didn't really do much, just like a little wob, and there was a circle there. Didn't quite know how that was going to help me avenge my Uncle Benny's death, but I thought, you know, maybe something will come out of it. So I thought, let's try against the wall and see if it can dissolve wall. It's all made the wall light up. So I thought, oh, that's a plus in it, you know. I'm never going to try and have to buy batteries for a torch again. But sort of beyond that, not much was done with that. So I decided it was probably best if I just went home and slept till morning. I went to go get a train, but the fucking things didn't stop. Just went straight on past me like I was a piece of scrotum floating down the shitpool of life. Oh, sorry about that, my mum always said I got very poetic when I was confused. I decided it would be quicker if I just got on the rails myself and run down, because I know where they lead home, you know, it's a nice safe walk. Just jump down on the V-shapes when a train comes. But unfortunately, due to massive circumstance way beyond my control, a bloody train turned up midway between the bloody Y-bits. So I discovered then I had a new power. I could moonwalk faster than anyone had ever moonwalked. Maybe it was the neon powers, maybe it was the fact I was born in the 80s, but now I was quite literally indestructible. As long as there was room to moonwalk out of the way of any incoming danger. Unfortunately, because I'd not scanned my train card, I wasn't allowed to get off at the platform, so I had to wait for the kindness of a stranger to take me to my home, and thankfully, in this beautiful city, there was someone who would come along and pick me up with their car. A little bit more literal than you would have thought, but it still got me from A to B, A being the place I was at, and B being the place I wished to go to. As I got home, night turned into early morning, and I realised two things. One, I should never have got up this early with this much of a fucking hangover, and two, these menus have better superpowers than I do. So, that morning, I went on my customary morning jog to go and get my, nan some medicine, when I heard a kerfuffle happening in the alley next door, so I went and had an investigate. And I found my some drug dealers who were pushing drugs on kids, which I am against. So I thought, let's go have a bit of a chat with them, see what's up, and tell them to move along. They didn't seem quite responsive to my moving along. So I thought it's probably a good idea to show them my new orb trick. They didn't quite like that, and they started shooting me in the ass. But I discovered I could take a few bullets, you see. So I ran away. Actually, being shot was painful. But as I ran away, the stuff that happened. Oh, it was like I was made of a fireworks dream. I ran and I turned into sort of this glitter shit, you know. It was all weird and fuzzy, and I thought, yeah, I could do with it. I didn't know how to stop it though, so I just kept sort of running for ages. I started trying to name myself. I thought, Delsin, you could call yourself Delsin Glitter, although that surname does have one or two negative connotations there. After quite a long time, I realised if I just stopped moving my feet, I'd stop. Which I'm surprised didn't come to me earlier, but then again, me old brain, it don't think about that sort of stuff. A few people noticed that I had sort of the weird powers, so I had to duck into an alley. Also, to throw up a bit, because that was a bit weird. After emptying myself onto a bin, and definitely not onto Mr. Tomlinson's bitch of a cat always shits in my yard, I decided it was time to go and show the world my powers. So I found a musician-y bloke. He was throwing out some bollocks. I didn't really know what it was. And I did it. I did that sphere thing in front of him, and he didn't give a shit. In my sadness that no one will ever notice how much of a special flower I am, I went into the woods, where I discovered that this weird blobby-orby bollocks, if I did it fast enough, sounded like that shit that those kids listen to, you know the stuff, the wubby bollocks. And I realised something. My power wasn't neon, it was dubstep in real life. Which, to be perfectly honest, is like third in the worst powers after that spider bollocks and that one who's just sort of a rock. You know, the one is just a rock, and that's his power. He's a power of a rock. That's not exactly a power. That's sort of a skin condition, mate. Wasted youth. Drug youth is wasted youth. I then stumbled across some nonces who were saying something about something else, and I decided to give them a bit of a show. You know, it's the young who protest. Unfortunately, when I was doing the show, I accidentally sneezed, and I fired out something, and it sort of hit this guy's arm. And then I fired out another one, it sort of hit him everywhere, and then a few more. I had to fire test shots to see what would happen, you see, and it turns out I've got some sort of proper weapon, which would have been a shit ton more useful when I had a fucking gun pointed at me, but nevertheless, now I have it, and I thought, great, now I can take out me uncle's killer. The problem is, you see, I've got to go find him. So how do you find someone in a city of, well, a lot? Well, I thought the best place to find someone would go really high up and then just sort of wait to see if I see him. And where higher than that bloody evil building that was built down on Main Street. You know, the one that's really tall, it's got a spike sticking out of it. I think it's Apple. It's an Apple building. It looks evil enough. As I made my way across the remains of that bridge that Michael Bay left when he finished filming Transformers 5 here, I thought, I could enter the Olympics with this running speed. I'm really bloody fast, you know, I don't think it breaks no rules. I haven't checked the rules of the Olympics, but I don't think they'll say you're not allowed magic powers or bollocks like that. So I thought I could enter the Olympics and become like a proper Olympian. And then unfortunately I remembered that there's that drug testing, so I decided against entering the Olympics at this time. As I made it to the building, I realised that it was a lot bloody scarier than they'd put on the postcards. The postcards actually said that it was a nice place to live, etc., nice views of the city and all that, and that looked like some sort of rock-based hell. So I didn't go for that building in the end. I thought, let's go and mash the guards up and just ask them if they've seen the bloke I'm after. So I had a quick look around for some guards, found some quite easily, and then off the first one, unconscious, like not killed with this sort of spinny shit, and then the next guy sort of, I bashed his head in with my chain. Not the chain that killed Harry Flamenco, mind. Harry Flamenco was killed with an entirely different chain that weren't one of mine either. Alright, someone else done in Harry Flamenco. It weren't me and it weren't this chain. I know it looks like the same chain. You know, the designer of chain really hadn't put his finger out of his ass for quite some time. I'm just saying that. I then came across a guy who also had magic powers. He had his sort of like rock powers and shit. But he also had an AK-47, so you know, if you got it, flaunt it. So he knocked me off where I was on the building, so I decided it would probably just be a good idea to bottle it at this point. So as I was making my strategic retreat, I had a thought. I don't know who killed my uncle. I didn't look it up. I missed a step, you know, because you got to go and kind of like find out who killed your uncle before you go on a vengeance mission to save your uncle. So I didn't quite know what to do at that point. I didn't know any police types to go and ask, you know. I knew a few screws from back in the day, but none of those police type stuff. So I had a brainwave, I had a thinky thing. Instead of trying to just find a guy sort of knowing who it was and going, that's the geezer, bosh, knacker him on the street, I thought, let's go to the police station. If I go to the police station, break in, I'll be able to look it up. Because you don't want to ask questions, you know. Some dude's been shot, you don't want to be asking questions. They'll get, you know, police, they get all like that, don't they? So I thought I'll break in the police station and then I'll know who did him, my uncle. Unfortunately, I was caught breaking in, so I had to do 6 months of porridge. Nah, you see, I do see the error of my ways. I've done my time, I've learned what I did wrong, and I won't be doing that again. But I found out where the guy lived from one of his mates who was in the nick, and I thought I'm just gonna go and bosh him. You know, just a gentle bosh, you know, just give him a bit of a 1-2, the 1 being a baseball bat and a 2 being his face. So, long story short, found a guy, he was giving it all out, he was sort of, you know, he had a waving a gun around, being a right twat. So I nutted him one, we had a bit of a fight, I whacked him with my chain and stuff, he went down, he had some mates, you know, I had to take them out and all, because they had guns, people could have been injured, you know, I was doing it for that. So we took him out, and I think I made us city a better place in that decision. I think because of that decision, this city is a safer, happier place for everyone, and that is why I was found covered in blood and 4 dead Russians in an alleyway, Your Honour. That is my story, and I hope you can see that I am a good human being. I wonder which bit he didn't believe.
Enter the domain of the Nerd3. Videos dropping from above like bird poo. Enter the domain of the Nerd3. Videos dropping from above like bird poo.